Hey, I wanted to give you guys a few tips on how you can become more of a console power user. If you are not familiar with console.log, this video is not for you. All right, first we're going to get right into it. You'll notice that I'm here inside of JS Fiddle. It's just listing out exactly what I'm going to be talking about right now. And but we do have a little bit of script. Over here we got a little AJAX request that's going to fire off whenever I click on the page. So we're going to fire that AJAX request, and when it comes back, we're going to create a text area, add that to the DOM, and then set the value of the text area to be whatever came back from the AJAX request. Now, I'm going to do that here, and I click, and then text areas come in. It's good. But sometimes, you'll be doing this, and you'll expect this to show up in the console, and by default, it doesn't show up in the Chrome DevTools. You can right-click and turn on XHR logging. And so now, when I have that on, all those XHRs are logged to the console, and I can go over to the network and figure out exactly the details of those requests. Now you might have noticed preserve log is here. This is brand new, so on page refreshes, your console can stay preserved, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I think I'll keep this on, and I'm going to show you console.time. So I'm going to type console.time up here, and we're going to give it a name. And I need to say when it ends. And so console.time and time end is just a nice way for you to kind of measure how long something takes. Now you could do it yourself with the date object, but we have a little hook for it. So I'm going to click, and so now we have an idea of how long it takes from the start of the AJAX to the end of the AJAX. It's pretty cool. Console.dir is an interesting one. And to do it, I'm going to dir out the text area that I've created. And I want to show that in comparison to console.log. So we'll both log and dir that out. I'll run that, and now I'll click. So here we have, this is the log view, and this is more of like the tree level view. And console.dir gives you more of the DOM level view of an object. So sometimes you kind of want that. Now I'm going to take this, this app and blow this up into the full screen view. And I will point out that if you're actually typing in the console, you could type console.dir and do that right inside the console. But you can have a nice little convenience function, so you can just type dir directly, and that works as well. So there's a few other methods that are available inside the console. So one of them is inspect. And so this is cool. So I have this text area, and I want to actually go see that in the elements tab, and I can just type inspect. We hop right over to elements, and it's already selected. Now similarly, I might have an element that I'm seeing in elements. I actually want to access it in script. So I access it right here. I click on that, and I'm going to bring up console with the escape key, and $0. And so that just is a reference to whatever was selected. And so this just works normally, so I can kind of do whatever I want with it. Another one, and this is fun, is $. And so this is also known as the bling bling function. Bling bling is pretty cool. And in fact, so this is just a peek into the DevTools source. It's just a wrapper around query selector all. And so I can just pass a selector to it and see what matches on the page. So here I have two text areas on the page, and so that's what it returns. It's easy as that. Now, monitor events. I'm going to show monitor events to you. And it does what it says on the TIM. And monitor events, and I'm going to pass it one of these text areas. And there we go. Now it's this text area here. Okay, cool. So all the mouse events, you see mouse move, click, keyboard events, scroll events. I get to see all the events that are firing on this object, which gives you a lot of insight into what's going on. Now, there is another way to do this, in that I can do the same thing, and I can pass it a second parameter of either mouse or key. And now, with key, I only get the keyboard events, no scroll, no mouse events. So that's pretty cool. And next I want to show you keys and values, sorry. So keys gives you the names of the keys of an object, all the properties and the methods. So I'm just going to pass the document. So we're going to turn, document.head, document.node type. There's a lot of stuff on there. Similarly, values gives me back all the values. There's a lot of different kinds of values, a bunch of functions, stuff like that. I'm going to go back to keys for a second. And there's some pretty cool stuff in here. A WebKit visibility state, and some interesting stuff. And I'd love to dig into this a little bit more. So I could copy paste this, but it's a little awkward. An easier way is just to call the copy method that's built right into the console. This copies it to your clipboard immediately, so I can go over to my text editor, paste it, and do whatever I need to do to it. Oops. No. No. Oh, feel it. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, cool. Now, I just want to show two pretty cool techniques coming from some other browsers. First, I'm going to head over to Opera. This is opera.next, and we have up HTML5 rocks. And sometimes, you just want jQuery to work with. On this page, we actually don't have jQuery. In Opera, I can type / and call jQuery as a function, and it just loads in jQuery. It's like the jQuery size bookmarklet. And now I can use jQuery to my heart's content. That's pretty cool feature in Opera. Switch over to Firefox Aurora, and here we have a page that has an iframe. All right, I'm going to open up this iframe. Look at the DOM view, and you'll see the iframe. Inside of that is a script, and inside of that script is a secret. So this is a common thing. You'll have a script inside. You'll want to understand what's going on inside that script, but of course your console is operating inside the context of the outside frame, right? And so I'm asking what the secret is, and it's not out here, it's inside there. So in Firebug, you can type CD, and CD changes the context. And so I'm actually going to go and select that frame. There's that frame, and now I need to pass it the window object. So I'm going to pass it content window. That looks about right. And cool. So we actually just changed the context of what Firebug is looking at, and now I can type secret, get my answer. So I'm querying the JavaScript that's going on inside of here, and to return back to the outer context, just do cd top, and I'm back where I started. That's about it. All right, so I would definitely recommend checking out the DevTools website, where there's a bunch more docs on all this stuff if you're interested in digging and learning more. All right, thanks.